requirement, resource planning, we will say, capacity of the workforce. After that, we have gone through the applications. What is actually applications of the work measurement? This work measurement is not only useful in industry, but others, office, or any other than this non-productive places also we can make use of this work study. This will help to decide the incentives, then wage, salary system, bonus system, operation planning purpose. We can use this where we can apply whenever the productivity work is there we can apply. Procedure of work study, selection of the job. This is first point. Recording the relevant data related to this exam critical things, measure all these things. After this comparisons, define these things and go for installing the same. After that, we have seen the various technique of work measurements. This including four things: time study means how much time is required to manufacture this job; work sampling, standard data methods, predetermined motion time system. So predetermined motion time system means already we have decided how much time is required for particular motion. Only that much time we have to give to perform the given activity. So this is the called predetermined motion time system. Here we require the camera or video, and by slow motions we can decide the actually times required for the motions, and the same thing we can make in the future also. Then time studies, most versatile and most widely used technique for work measurement to decide the actually time required for going for uh, completing the given job, and the job structure and the performance of the workers we will take this. Then what are the delays in the productions? This will going to find downtimes. This will going to find this thing we have to collect, and we can do the modification of the present method. So next, uh, the selection of jobs for time study it is given here. Each job depends upon the cost, preliminary investigation, efficiency method. Then selection of the worker for time study, the skilled worker, then having good experience, qualified, like this things will be there. Quality of the workers it is given here. Last time we have gone through the different types of equipment which is used for work measurement. Timing device is there, observation sheet, board is there, pen, pencil. Sometimes we require the camera also. So first thing is stopwatch, which is normally used for work study. So here two scales are there. Big scale, that is the revolutions completed by the performing the job, and how many revolution is there, that we have to measure with a small scale. Or we can stop as it is when we require this thing. Okay. So this is the about the time study. Then we'll go for Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
My sound is audible, no? Okay, okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes, sir.
Huh.
okay, okay. Thank you. Now, small problem due to the electricity. Now we were at the stopwatch. Position stopwatch is there. We can use for measurements of the work done in the shop floors. Timing device is there, just like tachometers. Here, video instrument is also used for measurement purpose. Digital instrument is also there, and whatever study actually we are making on the shop floor, that we have to note down on the sheets. Different sheets are there. Then one board is there. We can make use of the board also here. Cumulative timing also we can measure. Then the time boards and the procedures for making the different types of reading on the shop floors. Now, last time we have gone through the also performance rating, means ideal persons, skills, and experienced person. We have to get the work done from that person and compare his performance with
Sir,
others. Hello, 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 hello.
the screen is not
Yes,
visible.
sir.
Screen, what happened? It is not visible.
Ah, yes, sir,
Okay,
not visible.
not visible. Okay, okay. Hello. Now it is visible?
No,
No, sir.
sir.
No, sir.
No. Okay, okay. I will check this. Visible. Screen visible. Screen is not visible. Screen visible. है. Screen visible. हाँ. Hello.
Ah, yes, sir.
Hello. Visible, no?
Ah,
Hello,
yes,
sir.
sir.
It is.
Visible.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay. In chart, I would like to tell what actually happens in previous lecture. What is the work measurement? Then where we can use the work measurement, what is the application, and what are the work measurement device we can use in the shop floor. That is very simple. Different types of clocks, digital instruments we can use for time measurements, and there is the one boards as well as there is one charts. Just we have to take the times while doing the job and note in the sheet. Whatever the idle time is there, that we have to measure, and from that basis we can calculate the standard times. So standard time, that is equal to observed times into the rating. Rating means we have to perform the present performance of the workers with the ideal person, and that we have to give the rating, and accordingly we can measure that performance rating. Okay. Now next thing is there allowances. See that while doing the work measurements on the shop floor, we require different types of allowance. So continuous work, it will not happen in industry. There may be certain problems just like tool wear, machine breakdowns, and sometimes workers will go to somewhere for his personal needs. So such times will get waste. While calculating standard time, we have to consider this time in the our basic times or normal time. So this is called the allowances. So here allowance is there. Normal time does not contain any allowance for the worker. See that three times are there. One is observed time, second is basic time, third is normal time. So basic and normals are same. Observed it is different. Observed actually we have to observe with help of our camera or with naked eye, and we have to measures with the time this stopwatch. And this basic or normal times we have to calculate by a multiplication of our rating, means observed times into rating, that you will get the normal times or basic times, and in that if you add the allowances then it will become standard time. So once again I will repeat, standard time, standard time, this is the get question, standard time this is equal to observed time, observed time into, means multiply performance rating. So this rating you will get from the book, etc. Okay. So observed time into performance rating. This is called basic time, or it is called normal time. It is called normal time. And in this you have to add allowance, maybe personal allowance, policy allowance, or any other allowance. This will become standard times required to perform the job. So normal times does not contain any allowance for the worker. Even under the best working method situations, the jobs will still demand the expenditure of human efforts, and same allowance must be therefore made for recovering the fatigue or for relaxation. Sometimes 8 hours duty is there and worker is continuously working on the machine. Now he required certain allowance, that is called fatigue allowance, or to fulfill the given requirements of his own or personal needs, he required the personal allowance. Allowance also may be made to enable the workers to attain his personal needs. Which are the personal needs? Relaxation allowance, interference allowance, contingency allowance, and policy allowance. So there are four types of allowance. First is relaxation allowance, interference allowance, contingency allowance, and policy allowance. So these four allowances are there. So related to this question in exam will be like this: what is the allowance in the work study? Allowance is extra time that actually we have to add in the basic or normal time. It will become standard time. And what are the different types of the allowances? Four types of allowances are there: relaxation allowance, interference allowance, contingency allowance, and policy allowance. So what is actually relaxation allowance? All the worker to recover from the fatigue, means continuous 8 hours shift is there, and to work on the machines, definitely that workers will feel certain uncertain things, or he will feel certain fatigue about his body, mind, etc. In order to recover that things, we require this fatigue allowance. To recover from the physically and psychological effect of carrying out specified work under specified conditions, and to allow the attention to the personal needs, the amount of allowance will depends upon the nature of the jobs. So how much allowance will give? 10%, 5%. This actually depends upon the nature of the work. Foundry industries there, we require little bit big allowance. Any machining industry or air conditioning machining is there, we require a less allowance like this. Now next is fixed allowance, personal need allowance, 5% man and 7% for women. So here fixed allowance is there, means there is no change as per international standard for organization ISO. Okay, international standard for organization or ILO, international labor laws. So as per this, there is a fixed allowance, that is 5% for man and 7% for women, that is fixed allowance need to give while calculating the standard time. Now next is there basic for fatigue, means allowance for basic for fatigue to compensate for energy expenditure during the working. A common figure considered as allowance is 40% of basic times. This allowance is 40% of basic time, means 4% of basic time. Okay. Then variable allowance, this allowance is allowed to an operator who is working under the poor environmental conditions. Poor environmental conditions. Allowance is allowed to an operator who is working under poor environmental conditions that cannot be improved. Added stresses and strain in the performing the jobs. So this allowance is not fixed. Variable, environmental means hot season is there, then cold season is there, and because of that there is effect on the working condition. This allowance is variable. Next is variable fatigue allowance is added to fixed allowance to operator who is engaged on medium and heavy work and working under the normal condition. Amount of variable fatigue allowance varies from the organizations to the organization. So this is depends upon the organizations to the organization. Interference allowance. Interference allowance, the work content of jobs to compensate the operators for unavoidable loss of production. Work content of jobs to compensate the operators for unavoidable loss of production due to simultaneously storage of two or more machines being operated by him. Means one person is operating more than two, three machines, then certain problems always be created. To move from one machine to next machine, wait for that, and this is actually interference. So in order to compensate this, we required this interference allowance. Next, applicable for machine or process control job, interference allowance is proportions to the number of machines assigned to the operator. It is depends upon uh, the operators as well as number of machines assigned to the operator. So this is the about the interference allowance. Means one operator is handling more than two, three machines. Certain problems might be there, and in order to compensate this problem, just we have to provide certain extra time, that is called interference allowance. Next allowance is contingency allowance. Contingency allowance means small allowance of time to meet legitimate time or the certain time which is actually not expected. This is because of some unavoidable problem. For example, contingency allowance. Uh, in working conditions, sometimes powers will get off. So this power supply, it is not in our hand. This is supplied by MSCB. So because of this power, the machine will get stopped, the work will get stopped. So this allowance is called contingency. Sometimes maintenance problems will create in the machine itself, and we have to go for maintenance. Tool wear problem is there, coolant problem is there. So, which is not expected, but even though this will happen in the working condition, this is called a contingency allowance. Small unavoidable delay as well as occasionally mirrors extra work. Extra work is also required for this if we provide the contingency allowance. So, what is the uh, numerical value? How much the contingency allowance we can provide this? Is actually 5%. Now, next allowance is there. So up till now, we have gone through the our fatigue allowance is there, then your contingency allowance is there, relaxations is there. Now, last that is the policy allowance. Policy allowance. So this is the genuine parts of the science, and not that much importance from the calculation of standard time, because this policy it comes under the management, not plays the important role in the calculation of the standard time. To line up the standards times with the requirements of wage agreements between employees and trade unions. A policy allowance is an increment other than bonus increment applied to standard time. In say that policy allowance. What is actually policy allowance? One example is that in every industry there is the incentive or motivation system or bonus system is there. So who will give the bonus? The management. Who will give the incentive? Management. The motivational things will give the management. And this is actually related to the your standard. If you are working good things, you are following the standard time, there is a more production, productivity will be there, less cost will be there, then management will get happy. So at this time, he will get the certain allowance to the worker in terms of money also, that is called the incentive motivation. Okay. To provide satisfactory level of earning for specified level of performance under the exceptional circumstances. Policy allowances are sometimes made as imperfect functioning of division or part of the plant. Sometimes the policy allowance may provide or may not be provided for given condition. Okay, so these are the policies. Let us we go back and see once again. So what is the allowance? Extra time we have to add in our basic or normal time. That is our allowances. How many allowances are there? Four types. Relaxation allowance. If continuous work is there, operators may get fatigue. We have to provide certain allowance, certain extra time, that is called relaxation. Interference, if the worker is handling more than 2 3 machines, sometimes will get waste, and that we have to get compensated while calculating standard time. Contingency allowance means sometimes unexpected things will happen in the future. For example, powers will get off, tool wear, coolant problem, maintenance problem. So that we have to consider. That is called contingency allowance. And last one is policy allowance. This is called management allowance. So depends upon the situation, management will give this. These points will not considered in your standard time. Okay. Now we'll go to the next. This is about the allowances. Now various allowances to give in the standard time. So here is the charts actually it is given. So here personal allowance, constant fatigue allowance, variable allowance, and fatigue allowance. After that, see that chart, relaxation allowance, contingency allowance, policy allowance, in this become total times. And if you add this allowance into normal, it will become standard time. So instead of remembering this chart, you can put simple things there. What is that thing? First of all, we have to observe the work. observation, and we have to calculate the time by the top one. So yeah, observed time into performance rating. This is the rating calculated by the original work study. This will become your basic time or normal time, and in that, if you add the whatever relaxation allowance, contingency allowance, okay, then it will become standard time. So this actually chart shows that. So here, standard time is the time allowed to an operator to carry out the specified task under specified conditions defined level of performance. What is the standard time? So this definition it is given. Standard time is time allowed to an operator to carry out the specified task. Whatever job is given to the operators, so that time under specified conditions, so many conditions are there. Maybe environmental conditions, then working condition in the shop floors like this, and defines your performance. So here it is the chart is given. Once again, same thing is there. Your first observed times in the rating, it will become basic times or normal times. In that, you have to add the allowance, it will become standard time. Okay. Certain problems are there, and that you have to see this problem. First of all, observed times and the performance rating for 5 elements are given. So one column observed time is given, second column is performance rating. Okay. Assume the rest and personal allowance is 50%. Personal allowance 50 and contingency allowance 2% of basic time. So in order to solve like this question will be there in your GATE exam, 2 marks will be there. So here observed time is given. Observed time OT will say observed time is given. After that performance rating for that observed time it is given. So performance rating PR, OT, PR it is given. Then personal allowance is 50%. So 50% personal allowance or relaxation allowance, and contingency allowance 2%. So these things will be in percentage of normal times or basic time. Normal times or basic time. Very simple thing. First of all, you have to observe the time required actually while performing the job. That is called observe time and performance rating. Performance rating, this thing you will get through the books or which is already calculated. Okay. So these two data it is given. Now you have to calculate the standard time by considering 50% personal allowance and 2% contingency allowance. So here's how to calculate it is given. So first of all, you have to calculate this first reading is 0.2. Okay. So this is your 0.2 observed time. 0.2, I will solve one example and then we will come to this. 0.2 observed times. What is the rating? 85. Okay. So 85 divided by 100 means 100 is the ideal performance of the workers. Then what actually doing the works on the shop floor, his performance is 85. Okay. So 0.2 into 85 into 85 divided by 100. What is this? This is your basic time. This is your basic time. Okay. So basic times we have to calculate. Now in this basic times, whatever basic time will be there, this basic time you have to consider this allowances. You have to consider certain allowances. So what is the allowance here? 50% personal allowance means here you can go for multiplication. So initially 0.285 whatever value it is there you can write as it is. Okay. After that, zero point 0.2 into 85 divided by 100 into 15 divided by 100. So this you will get certain value. Correct. After that, zero point 0.2 into 5 divided by 100 into 2, that is the contingency allowance. Okay. So first of all, you have to calculate the total contingency allowance in the percentage of your basic or normal time. After that, you can calculate contingency allowance, and these two values you can add in the normal or basic time. Okay. So here problems number here problem number 2 is there. Here observe times 0.2 into 85 divided by 100, you will get observe time. And in percentage of that, 50% of this and 2% of this you have to add in the previous observed times in the performance rating. Similarly, you can calculate these things for 5 elements. You add these 5 elements and this will become your standard time. Okay. So element times for operation it is minutes. Calculate the standard for operation. If the element 2 and 4 are the machine element, for each element apparatus is rated at 100. Total allowance is 50%. Normal time answer. So here is also cycle times in minutes. It is given. Means observed time is given. Then here average cycle time is there. Rating is given. Normal time. So here average time into percentage of rating. This is the normal time. And in this normal time, total normal times you have to calculate plus percentage of the normal times, 15% of normal times you will get the standard time. So the last answer is 10.484. So this is also one more example. Now here's the following table shows the time study. Then times are observed continuously watch readings in minutes. Initially setting of stopwatch is 00. So here if you are doing any work, get to case, put parts to case, clamp with this case, cycle time is given. Okay, and performance rating is given. Okay. So here first of all, you have to calculate average cycle time, performance rating, you have to calculate normal time and percentage of normal times other allowance, you will get the standard time. So from this 2 3 formula, it is very simple. First of all, you have to calculate observed times into performance rating. This is one value. Okay. And this is also called basic times or normal time. Okay. So this value you have to keep aside. After that, you have to go for considering two types of allowance, maybe contingency allowance or personal. So first you have to calculate this allowance that is related to personal, that is percentage of basic time. Second, contingency allowance percentage of basic time. Now these two values you have to add in the actually normal or basic time to get the standard time. Okay. So this is the about the standard time calculation. Okay. Now next thing is that before starting time study, it is important to check the method to be used by the operator. If you are doing any work on the shop floors or you are selecting job for work measurement, you can think which methods you have adapted. That is also very important. For setting time standard, usually method study is conducted so as to standard practices. Initially, there must be method study. Optimum method should be there, otherwise no use of deciding standard time. If the time study is being done as the result of complaint of workers about standard time set early, then this method must be carefully observed and completed with standard practices when original study was done. So sometimes there must be opposed to this thing, and whenever our opposed will be there, then you have to go for carefully observation of this work measurement. It is found that workers use different tools, machines, setup parameters, temperature, flow return, etc., which can be influence the production rate and the total times like work tools geometry. So sometimes workers are using a different type of tools, machine parameters, or in other total times for work. This will also happen in the method. Now, checking the method of short cycle job is difficult, like assembly, packing of things, as they may be involve changing in movement of arms, hand patterns, motion patterns. For less frequently jobs, few times in year, a study should make control carefully and record of the methods by which job is being done, which would help to rectify the incorrect method being used. Now, normally, few jobs actually are machining on the shop floors under that job study. Actually, we will have to do production with continuous thing is there only one time frequent, but occasionally our frequency of the job is less. Under this, we can go forward. Now, breaking the job into the element after checking method study, it is broken down in element. Element is a distinct part of specified job selected for convenience of observation and measurement of analysis. Work cycles is the sequence of elements which is required to perform the job. Time complete task as one element generally not satisfied. For the purpose of time study, the task is normally broken into short elements. Each element is timed separately for the following reasons. Now see that here from these two, three paragraphs, only one thing you have to remember. Any method study, there should be split of the element. Means suppose you are doing the one job, step turning facing operation. This particular job you have to split it on basis of the operation. So turning operation, facing operation, these are the elements, and you have to think over this mm, times required for facing, time required for turning, and accordingly it can make the total observed time. So split that element if it is more. So from these two key paragraphs, it will come to know that. So breaking the job into elements, these are two, three paragraphs are there. So what are the elements are there? So here repetitive element, occasional element, constant element, variable element, manual element, machine element, governing element, or which element. So which elements are there that it is classified. Okay. So from our syllabus point of view, you have to remember the certain element, maybe repetitive element, occasional element, or constant element, or variable element. According to that, you have to decide the time studies required for this. Guidelines for breaking the work is sometimes short durations, long durations, skills required, then longer times manually performance, then each element is identified. So this thing also take the guidelines for selection the job. And next part is the workshop. So up till now, we have gone through the standard times and the technique which is used in the our work measurement. So already, if you go back to previous chapters, what is the actually method study, and after that, if you gone through this uh, preliminary part of our work measurement, so you observe that what are the techniques of the work measurement. So here you can see. applications, okay, basic procedure, techniques. See that. So here four techniques we can use in our work measurement. Time study, work sampling, standard data methods, and predetermined mission time. So out of this uh, course, uh, time study part is over. So time study, what actually it contains in time study? First of all, you have to select the jobs for time study. Depends upon the certain basic element. If assembly is big, you can split into number of small elements. Go for time study by using the study watch or other technical equipment. You have to decide the observed time required for particular element. In this observed time, if you add, in this observed time, if you go for performance rating, means observed times into performance rating, you will get the basic times or normal. And in basic times or normal times, if you add these allowances, maybe relaxations allowance or your contingency allowance, in this should be in percentage of basic time. So if you add this allowance in percentage of basic time, and you will get the standard time. So this is the best methods for calculation of the standard times required for performing the job. Okay. Now next our is their work sampling. Now when we can use the work sampling, that will teach. Work sampling. Work samplings where we required. Now once again you see that time study, splitting the number of elements, calculation of the standard times, different device it has been used, and allowances also be there. These are the allowance, four types of allowances, and how to calculate numerical value, taking of the methods and jobs it is used. So up to this point, we have gone through time study, time required to do the work. Correct. Split the element, calculate the time for each element, observe time into performance rating, which will become total basic times of normal time. This is the first thing. After that, you have to calculate plus percentage of this basic or normal times you have to add. Percentage of basic or normal, you have to add this contingency element will become a standard. And their elements are there. Split the elements as per the our requirement. This is actually not any standard process for this splitting. For example, one job is there, so many operations are there. Threading operation is there, gluing operation is there, step turning operation is there, facing operation is there. So many operations are there. So you have to split as per which. For example, I will make separate column for first off. Facing operation first. What is our observed time? Maybe 30 minutes. What is performance rating? 80. So 30 into 80 divided by 100. This is your basic times or normal time. Now, in percentage of this, you have to add here contingency allowance and personal use. This will become your standard time. So number of times the questions will be there in exam. What is the allowance? Allowance means what? How many allowances are there while calculating the standard time in the industry? So four types of allowances are there. This your contingency allowance is there, your policy allowance is there, then your relaxations allowance is there. Correct. So whatever I have shown that you have to remember and explain in brief with certain example. So this is one question. What is the allowance? Explain in brief about four types of allowance. So relaxation allowance, interference allowance, contingency allowance, and last is our policy. Policy allowance is not actually part of the standard time. So sometimes question will be there in exam, which allowance is not part of the standard time. So your policy allowance is not part of your standard time. Policy allowance, this is actually related to the top management while calculating the things actually required for our job. So policy allowance, you have to forget about this policy allowance. Only management will decide this allowance and other allowance that is very important, and it should be always in the percentage of basic times or normal time. Next time we're going to see this work sampling and what is actually a leave. Okay, so technique in which statistical competent number of instantaneous observation are taken over a period of time or group of machine, process or worker. Each observation recorded particular activity or delay in measure of percentage of time observed by the occurrence. Application, activity in delay sampling, perform sampling and work measurement. So where we can use the work sampling, where there is a need of work sampling. Whenever the mass production is there, continuous production is there, and under this condition, it is very difficult to take the time study. So we cannot measure the time for each and every job because there is a continuous production flow is most. We cannot go for time measurement. Under this condition, we have to use certain statistical technique to measure the certain things which is related to the standard time. For this purpose, we require the work sampling. So next lectures we're going to see about this work sampling. Whenever mass production is there, then always you have to use this work sampling for this. And where we can use this work sampling, activity in delay sampling, perform sampling, and work measurement. And what is the procedure for work sampling? This will think, and after that, there is some numerical problems over this that we're going to solve. Procedure for work sampling decided on the objective of the study. So, what is your objective for study in the work sampling? Obtain the approvals and cooperations from the department. Whether we can go for work sampling or not, we can get the approval and then we decide. Decide upon the work and delay in the elements. Work, delay, and elements we have to decide. Decide upon the duration of the study, objective, number of observations, accuracy, desired frequency of occurrence and activity. Determine the accuracy of the result. So here certain procedures it is given in the work sampling that we have to decide which procedures will be there. Objective of the work study, there should be some help from the department. Then the work and delay elements. What is the reason for work and delay elements? Decide actual duration of the study, observe time, etc. Determine the desired accuracy of the result. And what is actually expected accuracy of the result? That will also going to see. After that, we will the work procedure for work sampling and design of the work sampling and certain numerical problem is that this will going to solve. Sometimes there will be questions related to this work sampling. Only here you have to remember this is only used for mass production. Continuous production is there. Then we have to go for work sampling. Out of the given sample, we can select the certain samples and accordingly we can think over the calculation by using statistic technique and how to solve the problems in the statistical and what is actually output of this thing. So all these parts we're going to see in the next lecture. So our time is over. We'll stop here. Thank you for listening good things. Okay. Thank you.